Alright guys, this is a follow-up to my previous videos that I made on this truck. It's not complete yet, but I am definitely getting there. I just did the radiator flush today, front and rear diffs, and the transfer gauge fluid this past week. I kind of skipped on the wrapping of the hood. I wrapped it once and it looked really good, but I had to store the hood because the truck had needed so much work and it got damaged the second time I tried to wrap it. I didn't have a second set of hands, so I could never get it just right. So I ended up just doing bed liner. Came out pretty good. It's going to be a lot tougher than the vinyl wrap, that's for sure. And I'm not going to have to wrap it 6 months from now, so that's kind of cool. Got my LEDs, this LED bar, and these two mounted yesterday. So that came out pretty good. I'll go ahead and show you how that popped up. It actually came out really nice. I was impressed with how it came out. What I ended up doing is drilling a hole through the plastic and then tapping a hole through the firewall and just using these little rubber grommets that I got at Harbor Freight. And so the wire passes through the rubber grommet and the firewall goes through into where the windshield wiper, I guess it's like a catch for like rainwater and things like that, and it has a drain on each side. Wasn't sure to use this, but it was okay. And then put another one up top, and then on this side there was actually a stock rubber bushing right here for the I think they're the windshield wiper wiring. So I ended up using the other light wiring, puncturing through that, and then popping out the top right here. So, and I put new strut on each side. It had like one of the old school strut bars that you just popped up on this side, and I just like this a lot better. Plus, you know, the hood that I had repaired was damaged. It was rusted out from here to about here and actually separated from the top and the bottom skins of the sheet metal. So I was originally going to weld it, but I didn't know how to weld it at the time. I do now, but at the time I just fiberglassed it and then skimmed it with Bondo and then did like a final coat, and then I wrapped it. It looked really good. But like I said, it got damaged, so the second round didn't come out so good. But the lights look great. I got these cheap light mounts. I think they were $12 on Amazon. The ratings suck, but they're gonna work for what I need them for, and they're actually pretty solid. I mean, that thing is on there. I'm wiggling it pretty hard, and it's not going anywhere. It has this bolts inside. My complaint is I'm gonna replace these bolts with stainless because they are already starting to rust. I had a rainstorm last week. They weren't even on the truck, but I had them in the shed, and some of the rainwater got in the bag that I was storing the parts in. They rusted within, I don't know, a couple hours, 12 hours. Did the LED bar in the front. I took the hardware, the bolts that they supplied with this bar, and I welded them to the metal stock bumper that's underneath, because this was like flimsy, and it was cracked here from where I had hit a mailbox at one point. Cracked here and it cracked over there. But every time I repaired this with just regular like fiberglass, it would crack within a matter of time just from the vibration. So I kind of bolstered the plastic bumper up with the bolts, and then it had something to screw into it. So this is solid, and this is actually holding the bumper together a lot stronger than it probably would have been. And I'll pop them on for you real quick so you can see what they look like. They came out nice. It's daytime, obviously, so you're not going to get the full effect, but you'll get to see kind of what they look like. And man, at nighttime they are bright, let me tell you. Those things are popping. Let me throw this on. I just mounted a muffler on the, oh shoot, I forgot, I was just welding, so I got the battery disconnected. So I'll show you the lights another time. Yeah, I popped the positive and the negative terminal off to weld. So I was out here doing some finalized welding on, you know, touching up the frame. It's not got holes in it in that part of the frame, but there are some areas where I was a little concerned. So being that I've already welded holes up on this bad boy right there, I didn't want to have that problem down the road, so I'm going to take care of it now. And I also, here's the, I don't know if anyone saw the previous videos I made, but the huge hole that I had right here, put sheet metal in there, welded it. The other repaired area that I did on previous videos was about a fist size hole right there that I put sheet metal in, you know, skimmed it with fiberglass and then hit it with the Bondo, and the got, like, you know, over their internet, Amazon, I got some paint that matches the color code, so it's not perfect, but that's what I did the back of the car with. That's my paint job. The doors are not. This door is not. The front is. The bumper is. I painted basically the entire front of the car. This is paint from Duplicolor. Now this is the stock. You can see a little difference, but I haven't clear coated the paint that I've done yet, so it's gonna pop a little bit more once I'm do a final sand with like 2000 grit and clear it. I did this panel, did the rear bumper. All this was just, you know, chipped and damaged and had a lot of problems. The wheel fell off on the left side of the car, rolled by me up to about the driver's side door, so I hadn't dropped the rear left axle down onto the concrete yet, so I gave it a little gas, caught up to the wheel and tried to get it back into the fender wheel well for some reason. I don't know what I was thinking. I was just kind of panicked, but when it fell down onto the wheel, it just ripped, and that was the other side of the car, but just ripped this whole part out of the car. This side was all rusted out too, so that's why I had to paint this side. And this side was rusted. But when the wheel and the tire hit it, it just like ripped it all to hell and bent it. So came out really good. It took me a long time. Oh, and this side, same thing as the other side. Big hole. I repaired that right here. It's actually a little further down than the other side. Right now, my project is repairing the other side. Yep, there it is. And I've got one exactly like it where the welder is on the passenger side of the truck. Big old hole. That's from where I had repaired this. I had to basically, because of the rust sat in, whatever had gotten into this hole, sat inside the 2 sheets of metal and rusted this side out. So I'm gonna, you know, grind that all back out to healthy metal and then put some sheet metal in there, weld it in there, and do what I did on this side, and it'll look good. And then over here, let's see. This is what I'm doing on the other side right now, right there. That little notch, it looks good on this side. This isn't bad. The other side looks a little deeper. That was my concern area. I'm just going to fill it with some weld and grind it and just make sure that's not going to penetrate down into the thicker parts of the steel like it did on the rear part of the frame. The rest of the frame looks pretty good. Took a lot of hours of grinding. It's a little rusty now. I did this a year ago, but I'm going to go back over it once I finalize everything. I'm grinding this side down and finishing any. See this seam right here? That's what I'm going to weld up. It doesn't need it, but it is really corroded. It's really rough. If you can feel it, it's got a really rough surface. So I'm going to grind all this back. That's what I'm working on the other side right now. And I'm going to just lay a bead all the way down the frame, and that'll keep any crud and corrosion from growing, getting worse, and causing pitting and holes. And by the way, that's a stock hole. It's like a drain hole that, I don't know, they got one right there too. It's different than this one, but this one is shaped a little differently. I don't know what that is, but it's definitely factory. Here is my rear lower control arms. I mean, they're new. They're not brand new. I put them on a year ago. They have not been driven on, but I'm getting there. I've got new tires, no mileage on them. All new TPS sensors. Here's my ghetto exhaust out the side. I had the rear portion. It was going to be a connected muffler. It's kind of like a resonator, really, but just to the rear part of the exhaust. But it had a mount up there that was on the stock exhaust. It was hard to try and figure out what I would do to weld that up, and then I was going to cut the old muffler mount off and weld to this. Too complicated. Just put this right out the side. It sounds fucking awesome, and it doesn't rattle or anything. It really came out good. I put some copper gasket material in between the two clamps it, or the one clamp in the rear and the one clamp in the back, so 2 clamps. I might add like a little tip on there or something to really you know, be able to see it. Right now you can see it out the side, and nothing wrong with that. I kind of prefer it because it's away from the tire, but I might put like a little tip on there just to make sure people know it's there. I don't know, I'm being stupid. This truck is you know, it doesn't need all that, but it sounds fucking bad. When I get the battery hooked back up, I will start it up and run it and show the lights off. But if anyone's watching, hope you guys enjoy it. Got my little 2-inch lift in the front, probably 2.5 in the rear, the Old Man Emu heavy duties, and then the Rancho Brady lifts in the front. Did the Viper cut. Still have to put my skid plates on the transmission and oil pan. As I said, I had to take all that off to do the radiator flush, and I put some new hoses on the oil cooler for the radiator coolant. They're a little swollen, and so they need to be done. But I recommend doing the hood like this, at least as far as I've only had a few days like this. I did a previous truck similar to this, but I used the roller style, not the spray can. And this is actually from Harbor Freight. I had gotten like a name brand bed liner last time, but this is just as good. I would recommend it. It came out really nice. It takes a little technique to get it to spray evenly and lay uniform, but if you guys like it, give me a thumbs up.